Hey everyone, and this is a recap of the anime, The Girl Who Sees It All. The video includes all episodes of this anime. It all starts with showing a woman who saw some kind of monster in her fridge. Well, then they explained to us it's just a terrifying movie that the sister and brother watched. And the brother noted that what's scarier than the nightmare is the sister's hair standing on end. In a daze, the next morning she wakes up because she needs to sleep, getting ready for school, cleaning up. Her clan and her family quietly take her to school, wishing you luck on your journey. Basically, she met her friend at school who admired her brand new keychain, while her own keychain looked somewhat sad, and then, there were boring lessons, during which our girl caught sight of some ball rolling across the field, and when called to the board, she managed to answer correctly. After that, she left with her girlfriend who loves to eat hardcore, and she caught up to her with terrifying terror that her friend had somehow disappeared. Spirits indeed exist in this world, and she said it was all nonsense, went to the bathroom, came out and walked home with her friend. The friend dashed across the path, showing off those attempts and wished her luck. But at that moment, our girl noticed she had lost her keychain. She went to school to look for it and realized it was under the desk. Well, she crouched down and began to try to pull it somewhere. It was very uncomfortable, and there are more such frames in my Patreon. Come and subscribe. Then the girl walked with her soles getting all wet, after which she had to dry off. And she texted her best friend that she assembled her keychain and everything was fine. But she started replying with the exact same photo that was sent to her, and it looked like some kind of bug in the phone, after which something of mine appeared entirely. A monster on the screen made the girl throw her phone in fright, looking up to see her friend reply, "Man, it's a shame you're scared of the monster." Oh. Right then, a monster appeared before her. The girl didn't show it, though scared to avoid provoking it. And just calmly took her seat in the UFO. She had already seen some handprints on the mirrors and couldn't even brush her teeth calmly because she saw monsters behind her. And she was just trembling with fear. You couldn't just calmly deal with this, so she went looking for salt, claiming it would ward off the little monsters and she could finally sleep peacefully. Wait, I saw she sacked the... And she was looking for necklaces from all these. Weirdly enough, when she lay down, it was already warm under the blanket. A monster. Eventually, she just passed out and all the salt was scattered. By morning, the little monsters were gone, and although she managed to brush her teeth this time, calm down. Truly, it didn't last long and there were monsters at school already. He didn't stay with them for long and left, and then the girls had peace. Such content can only be shown on Patreon. Alarming music. And to say that there was some kind of monster head in her closet. Our lady was initially scared. She looks, there's nothing there, but then she looked up and he was really there. Plus, there was her friend's phone lying there, which Tanya could have taken. When sight took these, when our girl took it, she almost jumped out of her skin with fright. She was utterly taken aback. One day, a friend of our girl decided to say she needed to lose some weight because her waist was an anomaly and really she should get the grip on yourself. How long can this go on? Ghosts, on the other hand, seem to think differently and just stick to her like honey. Seeing the situation, our girl needs to figure something out, or who knows what might happen to her friend with that many demons around on her. But she took her and led her to the medical center. Tanya finally understood what it was, why she needed the medical center. Point is, she says she just feels a certain sadness from her loved ones. The only solution I found for Vaha is to skip her anime with antiseptic, and she decided to spray her from head to toe. But the ghost liked it even more until Acklemy arrived in the nurse's office, which was even more plush. Forms it leapt over, and the girls could calmly continue studying, but the girl of course was surprised that her friend decided to spray her all over with antiseptic, and as they were walking home from school, they saw a cat. But as always, the girls found the kitty and someone had to... Then some sailor arrives, not exactly inspiring trust. Meanwhile, there was a nice guy standing, but that's only at first glance. However, our lady saw that he was all worn out. But to be continued... In fact, to a holy person who loves her. After which, our girl went for a run, her father saw her off. Got on the bus, told my girlfriend that she's looking for a new necklace, and not for nothing, even in a bus with me ghosts surrounding her. What's more, even the cafe she went to wait for her friend was haunted. Moreover, they had a direct meaning to the people who were in this world, in a cafe showing them in person. I was one of the ghosts and even noticed that it seems like she can see him, so we reacted immediately and went to the girl, and she realized her tactic of not blowing her cover was quite different. Busy. When she tried to act as if she was just looking at something on her phone, then her friend arrived and tried to pour his heart out to the girl, but she just left. For he met someone just as cursed as he was. Well, the girls just want to soak up all the energy with their hands, of course. Sawezi Her head sets dive, her head filled with these ghosts. The scariest corners come in, from which even the wind chimes she bought provide no escape. They just scatter. Vai su, especially when someone doesn't delicious ice cream, and so they decide it's CC. They decide to visit a fortune teller who could give them a stronger necklace. As soon as Mieruko makes the necklace, it immediately bursts, and the old lady is stunned by how receptive she is to the house. And she even saw a spirit near the girl a little bit, but the problem is all in her friend, who simply emits a light energy that attracts spirits. The grandma gave them her family heirloom, which was supposed to protect them from everything, but it immediately broke. Realizing nothing could be done about it, the grandma just went with it. Goodbye. So the girl and her friend went home. The next morning, she overslept for school and her little brother woke them up, which made her freak out and kick the school out of her room. She overslept, so she went to the store for tomatoes. Even there, ghosts greeted her. Well, the mother tests the mother and father left the kids to watch strange series. Little brother wanted a soda, sister went for a popsicle. The vending machine just dropped a coin and there was a ghost. That's when she got really scared. Again, come home, sit down scared. Poor thing. Anyway, life goes on. The friend is gradually losing weight, but the brother notices that his sister is acting quite suspiciously and starts to quietly watch her. Keep an eye out. What's she reading over there? And then comes the series, which is entirely for Patreon. Come on in. Subscribe. Our girl had ghosts visiting her in the bathroom. She was in shock when at that moment her little brother accidentally entered. And it snapped her out of it and she was able to calmly leave this too. But as always in the morning, ghost creature up face decides to ghost creature while her friend is getting ready for school. The girl entered the kitchen and saw that nasty creature again. Leaving like this is, of course, a bit hard. Nerves start to fray. We held a session and quietly clean up. The girl took pudding and placed it on her dad's grave, who appeared to us in all these episodes. You had no idea what it was? A ghost. Still, there's some benefit to her abilities. There is. At this time, 80 class student Mieruko also took a bracelet for herself, which actually helps her a lot because her powers are much weaker, even though she believes the opposite, having seen it from childhood. Ghosts, and as Joisami Shirkasa on that has been watching our pair of girlfriends for a long time, especially how our Mieruko distracts her friend from facing the ghosts. And then the little one realized it wasn't a coincidence and decided to talk to the maiden. But to her surprise, the girl twisted her around because the room was full of awesome ghosts. Well, essentially she told her that she doesn't really see anything like that and it's all just craziness. And while walking home on the street, a ghost seemed to have taken her by the hand, but it just appeared that way. In reality, it was just a regular grandma. And when she was seeing her off, that's when there was a real disaster outside. Israel, who dictated some numbers that Granny immediately recognized, turned out those were the numbers to her safe where her comb was kept, the one she hadn't combed with for a long time. Thanks to it, she looked like a regular nice grandma. The girl looked at the memorial portraits and realized that it was probably the husband of... the girl went for a walk with her buddy and she just showed up with some super monster. And as she was going, she ended up in all sorts of trouble, like running through abandoned places this way and that. Over here. Basically, she is an unpleasant master. The girls were going to the temple, and there was nothing left to pray for but for all the evil in this world to be cleansed. No sooner had she wished it than some spirits appeared. Guardians who started to panic over this creature, neither alive nor dead, but it defeated them and ate them. And then her friend decided to take a photo with it in the background. At sunset, fortunately, a stronger spirit appeared and tore this evil apart. So the patrol lit up with the idea of starting to take threatening photos. And of course, Titasia, in a classic sense, she wants to hide away in a dark corner where it's scary and dark. And where do the likes come from? Just mean ghosts. I have to just clap my hands inside this thing. Little things. The little one noticed that she's casting something terrible there. Basically, the girls took some pics, had a chat, and then took off. After that, our heroine went to update her wardrobe with her little brother, and so they shopped so much that everyone got tired and the little one just passed out right away. But ghosts, as they say, don't sleep, and there was some monster swinging an axe at everyone. He swung the axe at our heroine too, but she felt nothing. Yet she was incredibly scared because the monster was genuinely terrifying. The next day at school, she saw that very guy they wanted to give the cat to, but he was surrounded by sheer malice with evil ghosts, and it was really scary. Especially considering there was some sort of gigantic creature in the window. In short, the girl after that just went breathe through the window because it's impossible to stay calm in school with this. And this dude is super sketchy, always creeping on our bunny girl, and he's got this massive idiot with him. Not only can't you go to the bathroom in peace to think about everything, but she also had to pretend there was no toilet paper. So she went into to the cabin, and there's a little one. In short, the encounters will still begin to talk about it, and that's all. But our main character can't shake off this ghost that follows her, which appeared after a new teacher arrived. In general, the girls decided to hang out hard together and to enter the room of fear, where our heroine felt just like a fish in water and at some point was able to distract herself from her household problems. For her, in that room, it wasn't scary at all, but rather fun, since everyone was scared of what wasn't there. Well, maybe there was some spirits. And then they show us this shady teacher who's visited by an old lady telling him a story about cats disappearing here. And he covers his door, but there's a cat lying on his hand. And as he walks down the street, those very notices are being pasted up. At that time, our girls are having their physical education class. And they run harder as the girlfriend's a bit of a drag, of course, and it's tough for her to run. But our gal handles it calmly, running right behind the Bigu ghost. But studying is still quite hard because this huge looming ghost just sits over her constantly. And then the teacher distracted our girl, causing her to lose focus and almost revealed that she sees this huge creature. Somehow she started barely sorting through words, something through words, reading what was assigned. Fortunately, her friend had a stomachache, so she needed to see a doctor, hence our girl took her there. And she has never been so grateful for her friend's illness in her entire life. In the end, a mini buddy of hers gave her a candy in such a hard smack, and that's all. Time passed. Her aura began to shine, but only our girl sees it. And as she sat outside waiting for Rozhanka to pass, she began waving to some boy. And the boy turned out to be a ghost, and it was the first case when a ghost realized someone could see him. He attacked our girl and killed the spirits that were sent from the place where she prayed. Fortunately, there was a stronger spirit who defeated this ghost. But then she realized it was all just common jokes and the cops didn't care about her. It can't be done because if the spirit is troubled, if he sees you, he'll attack. Buddy! She had even more hot dogs and walked away. Okay, meanwhile, we see this in MSI. We see the past of this self-taught man doing everything to please his mother. But all she cared about was quality and good education, and nothing allowed him to keep any animals. Which of course upset the boy. But they only gave him notebooks, but on the street he saw a kitten which he took for himself, and the kitten was he was like a brother to him, a true bro. And meanwhile, our girl was walking down the street, saw the teacher again, and decided to follow him. She kept on tracking him. She moved as quietly and stealthily as possible and saw that he had approached the cat somewhat. I even got scared that he would start doing wonders again. Wanted to call the police, but but couldn't decide this. When she saw someone reaching for the cat, she yelled at them. They saw their student, and the evil spirits began to appear around him immediately. A little kitten jumped into the girl's arms and she decided to run away. Ran and ran, but just like in classic anime, tripped on flat ground. The code remained intact, alive and well. Got lucky there, but the teacher quickly caught up with the student and the cat escaped from her hands and ran onto the road. When the teacher saw this, he immediately rushed after it and saved it from the dust under the wheels of the car. And then they show us a flashback from his past, revealing he indeed had this kitten. He was happy with it and continued to study hard. But one day he comes and the cat was nowhere to be found. And mom gets punished just like that. She killed the cat so her son would continue to do well in school. Ever since, the teacher was left with a trauma. And it seems that Mieruko realized that this enormous spirit is indeed the spirit of the mother. This guy who was actually confirmed by his buddy Chubby, who said his mother smothered him and let him do nothing at all. Not as his name, but when I studied. In short, Mieruko realized how she could help him, and she just let it rip seeing him. When this spirit realized this, he just raged and ran after her, but fortunately for the spirit. Shame, the girls managed and defeated this enormous malevolent creature, and our dude too. The teacher began to feel relieved. I could only stay was a part. The girl even cried because of the whole story, and around the teacher, spirits appeared. The ears of the cats he saved and picked up from the street. In short, little brother cried because the kitty had to be given to the teacher. After all, Meanwhile, the kitty remained under the care of Meruka Braza, so to say. Then they found the crack that terrorized all the local cats. Found him, by the way, the teacher, and it was because of this guy that all those missing person announcements were made. In general, peace. Stepped on, and when Merca decided to come and worship the devil, he emerged incredibly huge and healthy. She had to give away all her candies first. Then simply, she understood that he was still not leaving. Those spirits still looked at her, wanting something even more. She found she found a whole shovel of candy, gave away all her money. They're practically in tears, praying, "Oh, Holy Spirit, no, I mean, don't be upset with me." After that, he left and turned into some kind of disgusting creature, but still holy. And she had it, like, in reality, we saw it was her dream. When she woke up in the morning, she looked outside and everything was as usual. And in their room, there was a little brother and daddy who was 2. Meruki's life essentially didn't change, and she continued as a spirit. Thanks for watching this video till the end. Don't forget to check the links in the description